Welcome to my video on essay structure. If you've watched my other videos, you'll see that I like to use what I call an essay wheel that shows students that writing good essays has a lot of different components that all have to kind of come together in order to make a good essay. So in this video I'm going to be looking at just one of those, one that students often feel quite confused about, and hopefully I can make it a little bit clearer. So the one I'm looking at today is the structure and organisation of the essay. It's important to understand that an essay is just a logically structured and detailed answer to a question. An essay supports its answer to the question with a line of argument. That line of argument is just the reasons why your answer to whatever question you've been asked, why you believe your answer is correct. The argument is usually made up of 3 points that work together to prove that your answer to the question is correct. So I'm just going to skip a whole lot of other things that I cover in other videos, mainly what goes on at the question and answer stage of preparing to write the essay. Just briefly, you need to deal with the question, you need to analyse it, understand it, work out what it's asking, what its implications are. You have to brainstorm ideas. Thinking in English is hugely underestimated. You must really think through what your answer to the question is, decide what your answer is, decide on the response, and then plan the essay. When you plan the essay, you need to have 3 things on your plan. One is your what we call a contention, sometimes also called a thesis statement. It simply is your answer to the question summarized in 1 or 2 sentences, in a nutshell. The second thing that you need on your plan is you need to have your 3 paragraph points worked out. You must have 1 sentence for each paragraph point that sums up perfectly what your point is in that paragraph in relation to the question. Spend time at the planning stage getting those word perfect. And you need to indicate on your plan evidence for each point. Because we don't have a text in common, I'm not going to use a text response essay here to explain structure. I'm just going to pick an issue, a made-up issue, a made-up question, and show you how a response to an essay can be structured. So the essay question I've chosen is this one. Despite Jane's parents' concerns, she should be allowed to attend the party. Discuss. You would be aware that even though there's no question mark here, this is still a question. There's a statement there offering an opinion, a view, and you need to decide whether you agree with it, disagree with it, whatever. In this instance, I'm going to agree with the question. I've made up in my own head a scenario in which I think going to the party would be fine. Of course, if things were different and Jane was less trustworthy and the party was less safe, perhaps my answer would be different, but here goes. So just imagine I've spent 10 minutes really nutting through this essay question. This would be what my plan looks like. You might wonder, why are we talking about plans when I'm going to show you structure? Well, you need a plan in order to follow the structure. So here's my plan. It's got my contention at the top, and my contention is simply to agree with the question and say, despite their concerns, Jane's parents should allow her to attend the party. It's exactly the same as the question because I'm agreeing with the question. And here I have my 3 paragraph points, and I've got the letters TS for topic sentence. A topic sentence is just a sentence that makes the point of the paragraph crystal clear. So in my first paragraph, I want to talk about the party and it being safe. So my topic sentence is, while her parents' concerns are understandable, this party will be well organised, supervised and safe for Jane to attend. I've also indicated underneath all the evidence I'm going to use. My paragraph 2 point is all about Jane's social life and why going to the party would be good for that. And my topic sentence is, the party is an important opportunity for Jane to strengthen her social ties and build relationships, and so it is important that she attend. And under that I've got evidence and points that I could use to support that point in a paragraph. My third paragraph point is about trust and responsibility in Jane's relationship with her parents and what kinds of behaviours they want to encourage. So it says this: Jane has a history of behaving responsibly, and letting her attend the party is a way that her parents can show her that they trust her, therefore encouraging her to continue to make good decisions. So you'll see that those 3 points together add up to a pretty strong argument that it's a good idea for Jane's parents to let her attend the party. Okay, so this is what your plan should look like. It may seem like it would take a lot of work to create something like this, and in fact it does take 10 to 15 minutes usually. It's well worth the time, because when you actually come to write the essay, you have a lot of what you need to do already worked out for you, and it's a little bit like baking a cake and following the recipe. If you can see here that you've got, your contentions clearly outlined, but you've also got your first sentence of each paragraph and the points that you're going to expand on in each of those paragraphs. If you don't go through this planning stage, it's quite likely that your essay will have all of these points in it, but that they won't be organised into separate paragraphs. I often find students do point 1, 2 and 3 in the first paragraph and then go, oh, I've covered everything already, and they don't really know what to do next. So it really is worth you organising your essay in this fashion and taking the time to have it all set up. You could also think about it as building a house, and how if you were to build something fairly complex that has different aspects to it, you'd want to have a plan before you began building so that you knew how to go about it and what was to go where. So make sure you plan. Once you plan and have something very similar to this, the structure is pretty straightforward. Alright, this is what an essay looks like. It's kind of general shape, the look of it, I suppose you could say. Essays begin with a paragraph which we call an introduction that outlines the contention, your response to the question, and the 3 points that you're going to make in your paragraphs. And then those 3 points are made in their own paragraphs, one after another. You'll see here that I've color-coded things. So I've got my first paragraph point here in yellow, my second paragraph point here in green, and my third paragraph point here in blue. And you'll see that that corresponds with the 3 paragraphs. Yellow first, then green, then blue. What you do in your introduction is you outline, you use these topic sentences. You put your topic sentence first in your paragraph, but you reword them, make them a little bit briefer usually, and you make it really clear in your introduction what the 3 points are that you're going to make. Your contention goes in there too. I've got that color-coded red. And at the end of your essay, then you have your 3 paragraph points that are developed in 3 separate paragraphs, and you see how there's no yellow stuff in either of these paragraphs, and there's no blue stuff up here. You keep your points really nice and separate. And then in the conclusion, again, you'll see those colors appearing where we again go over the contention, which is in red, your paragraph 1 point, your paragraph 2 point, and your paragraph 3 point. Okay, I wrote an essay on this topic, which I'm going to go through with you now in some detail. First of all, the introduction. I always encourage students to write the question at the top of the page. I think it just really helps to get everybody on the same page and know what they're wanting to do. The first thing that goes into an essay, usually if you're doing a good job, is what I call a warm-up sentence. Other teachers call it a contextualizing statement. Generally speaking, it's a sentence that introduces the text, often the author, the year of publication, and generally alludes to the theme that the essay will be on. From there, and I've got that color-coded in purple, and you'll notice that down at the conclusion we have another similar thing happening down there. From there we go to red, and red is the contention, which is the answer to the question. And you'll see that that also appears down in the conclusion as well. So you state it in the introduction, and it's stated again very clearly in your conclusion as well. In this, I'll read it out. For the past few years, Jane's parents have been very concerned for her well-being, especially at parties, as they want to be absolutely sure that she is safe before allowing her to participate. That's our warm-up sentence. Then the contention, despite their concerns, Jane's parents should allow her to attend. Very clear statement of my opinion. Now, my first point. The party will be well supervised and steps have been taken to ensure it is safe. Remember, in our planning stage, that first paragraph was all about how the party is safe. Now our second point. It is also a valuable chance for Jane to socialise with her friends and build her sense of connectedness to her schoolmates. Remember that second paragraph was all about her social life and how it was good for her to spend time with her friends. And then up here, Jane has shown herself to be trustworthy, and allowing her to attend the party will be a reward for this, as well as an encouragement to Jane to continue to make responsible decisions. And you'll remember down here in blue that this paragraph was all about how if Jane's parents wanted her to continue to behave responsibly, it would be a good idea for them to trust her and therefore encourage and reward past good behaviour from her. So the last sentence in your introduction is, to be honest, it's optional. Sometimes it feels like it's going on a bit too long and you're better off to just move on with the essay. Sometimes it feels good to just go over that contention again and make it really clear what you're going to be arguing. So in this case, I've put one in. While Jane's parents have good reason to query the safety issues at some parties, in this case there is little safety risk and a number of very positive reasons for allowing her to attend. So those very positive reasons refers to that paragraph and that paragraph, okay? So I've kind of mentioned safety, which is this paragraph, and then this one, and then this one. All right, moving on to the body paragraphs themselves. The first one, which is on safety, that topic sentence I worked out in the planning stage, and this is why it's not a waste of time to plan, because when you get to actually writing the essay, you know what your first sentence of that paragraph is going to be. You've thought about it. You've actually spent the time rewording it and getting the words so that they make that point really, really, really clear. So here it goes. While her parents' concerns are understandable, this party will be well organised, supervised and safe for Jane to attend. Then I go into a discussion of my evidence and I analyse and make clear what all that evidence, how that evidence supports my argument. The invitation to the party makes it very clear that the party is well organised. To guard against gate crashes and violence, it advises that professional security services have been hired. This removes one of the main concerns Jane's parents have about her attending parties. This sentence is really important. Above that, I've given my evidence, but I haven't really drawn out why that evidence is crucial to the argument I'm making. Here I do in this sentence, and this is analysing the evidence and drawing out its implications. This removes one of the main concerns Jane's parents have about attending parties. So that information should reassure them that she could go to the party. Now, here in a slightly different yellow colour, I have a related point. It is also made clear that there will be no alcohol allowed and that the party will be supervised at all times by responsible adults. This should reassure Jane's parents about a number of concerns they may have about teenage parties. Again, that sentence at the end is drawing out why this evidence is relevant. Often I get students who give me lots and lots and lots of evidence, but they don't draw out why that evidence is relevant and how it helps them to prove their case. They tend to see it as obvious, and to be honest, I'm telling you, I can see it's obvious as well, but that's not good enough. It needs to be actually said. It's not enough to just put the evidence in there and allow your examiners to draw their own conclusions. They won't reward you for that. You must make the obvious statement about what that evidence means in terms of the point you're trying to make. All right, at the end of your paragraph, you should sum up the point you've just made in different words to your topic sentence. So here I've said, because it is clearly a well-organised party with adequate supervision, Jane's parents should feel confident that it would be safe for her to attend the party. Next paragraph. Topic sentence first of all. And remember, this is the social life paragraph. The party is also an important opportunity for Jane to strengthen her social ties and build relationships, and so it is important that she attend. The invitation makes it clear that all the class have been invited. This means that the party is likely to be an important occasion for the social life of the cohort, and that it is an opportunity for Jane to strengthen friendships and build connections with her peers. So again, I'm drawing out from this evidence the meaning of the evidence, how it's important. Missing this opportunity to interact in a social setting could even be a setback for Jane as she attempts to fit in at this new school. As was discussed in the last episode of Four Corners, ABC 1116, I've made this up obviously, and I've got a quote from that, stable friendships are vital to the happiness of teenagers. Jane's parents obviously care for her and have concerns for her welfare, and one area of her welfare they should take seriously is her social connectedness and friendships. Then I sum up. So that's my evidence and my analysis of the evidence and my discussion of it and how it supports this point I'm making in this paragraph. And I sum up at the end, attending the party is important to Jane establishing herself in the social group and building her friendship network. and this is not something any caring parent would wish to deny their daughter unless it was absolutely necessary. Our final point now, which is on Jane and trust and her relationship with her parents. Topic sentence. Jane has a history of behaving responsibly, and letting her attend the party is a way that her parents can show her that they trust her, therefore encouraging her to continue to make good decisions. At Fatima's crazy hair summer solstice party, as well as many other times when Jane's parents had allowed her to socialise with her friends, she had been safe and had followed her parents' rules and expectations. Her parents have often said to her, "We trust you, Jane," and she has proved worthy of that trust. Other people, such as Betty's mother, have also previously stated that Jane is responsible, so her parents have very good reason to believe that she is. It is often said that trust breeds responsibility, and Jane's parents are likely to encourage further responsible behaviour from her if they reward her and let her attend this party. And then to sum up, I sum up again at the end the main point. Because Jane has previously shown herself to be trustworthy, her parents should take the opportunity to reward the kinds of behaviours and character traits that they wish to encourage. Alright, now just to finish up, our conclusion is down here. It's a good idea to begin with a kind of a warm-up, well, we'll call it a warm-down statement, similar to the one we began with. Often, if you're dealing with a text, it often talks about the significance of the text, particularly in relation to the theme of the essay. So here it says, making decisions about teenagers often requires parents finding a balance between wishing to allow them freedom and fun and wanting to keep them safe. Then we go into the contention. In this case, despite their understandable concerns, Jane's parents should feel reassured that letting her attend the party is the best decision for a number of reasons. And then we have our reasons, yellow, green and blue. The party is well organised and well supervised and will keep the attendees safe. Attending the party would be a welcome and enjoyable social activity for Jane, enabling her to see her friends, build relationships and feel part of the group. And finally, trusting her to attend the party would be a suitable reward for her having acted responsibly when allowed freedom in the past, and it's likely to be appreciated by Jane and encourage her to continue to act responsibly in the future. Alright, just to reinforce, what I've covered today is really just a small part of what's required to write a good essay, the structure and the organisation of the essay. You'll see the way that I used my plan in that essay is really good evidence for my argument that the question and answer, the planning stage, getting ready to write your essay, is absolutely vital, and I really encourage you to have a look at my videos that look at analysing the question and planning a response. Alright, look, thanks for listening, and I hope that was helpful to you.